Good evening and happy Friday. Thanks for joining us for Unscripted. Cody Bear in today for Melissa. And Ethan is also here with us. Ethan, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. If you plan to go out, whether with your partner or on your own, what can you expect weather-wise?
Yeah, we have some fairly quiet conditions out there. We're already starting to see a little bit of that snow melt today, and we'll continue to see that snow melt quite a bit over the next few days, as we're seeing temperatures in Traverse City right now at 40 degrees and a west-southwest wind at 11 miles per hour. Makes it feel like 33. Satellite and radar shows we do have a little bit of precip over toward the thumb region, but that has exited the region for now, and we're seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s. But because of that melting of the snow, that could lead to some patchy fog over the next several mornings. Our Valentine's Day forecast, cloudy to mostly cloudy, 32 to 42 for highs. I'll tell you if we'll see this warm up continuing into the next week in your full forecast.
Thank you, Ethan. And now in continuing coverage, students were back in class today at Old Mission Peninsula School, their first day back since a man with a hammer broke in on Monday. Since then, repairs have taken place, discussions have been had, and plans have been made for the future, all to make sure students and staff are safe. Our Mark Gillette reports.
We found that amongst some dark, scary things, there's a lot of really good in this world.
The crime tape is down, the shattered glass repaired. About the only sign that this wasn't a normal week here is in the teacher's lounge.
We have gotten such an outpouring of gratitude, donations of food and treats and coffee and lots of support and emails and kindness. And so I cannot keep up on thank yous for all the generosity that has come our way.
It came their way because the staff and the students dealt with some stuff. We're not going to delve into it too much right now, but it shook them.
What we had in place made it harder and took more time for that perpetrator to get through, and that was critical, and that's what kept the kids safe.
That kept them safe, and so did their preparation.
Absolutely, 100% we prepare for this. We have drills, we train all the time. There's special trainings the teachers have to go through.
And that paid off when it wasn't a drill.
What went well, past the incident itself, of course, of the perpetrator, was everything. Every single thing.
On Monday, a disruption. Today, a return to class for the kids.
Staff were here yesterday. They didn't have to be, and they were decorating the school for Valentine's and just lots of love. There's hearts on every single locker. They get to have their parties today for Valentine's and just trade a lot of love, and they're excited. They're smiling. We got lots of hugs. They're really good.
Back to normal with everyone keeping an eye on everyone else. Staff, students, anyone who might be having a rough go.
We have a lot of extra care in the building, and we have a whole system in place to help any kind of need in the building.
A need by students being met today. A need for the actual building in the works.
Old Mission Peninsula Education Foundation is a great supporter of ours, and they are the organization that owns our building, and so we lease from them. So they are launching a School Defenders fundraiser as we go forward, and we look, everything was great, it was flawless, but we can do even better with security measures.
As a charter school, they don't have the same access to funds to update security as most other public schools. They do have measures in place already that worked. But the foundation is hoping more can be done. Not so much to create a fortress for students, but rather a place where parents, staff, and most importantly, students can do what they come to school to do.
The number one priority when it comes to my students, and I say my because they're my kids when they're here in the building, to protect and cherish and help them learn and grow, is to keep them safe.
Mark Gillette reporting the man accused of using hammer to break into Old Mission Peninsula School is being held on a $1 million bond on charges of false report or threat of terrorism and malicious destruction of property between $1,000 and $20,000. We have more information about the school and the fundraiser to enhance security at the school on our website, UpNorthLive. UpNorthLive.com. And big news for internet users in Antrim County, high-speed fiber is finally on the way for more homes and businesses. Spectrum announced today that it's expanding its network to bring a gigabit internet, TV, and phone service to more than 1,000 locations, including Mansalona and Star Townships. The company says this is part of a multi-year investment to improve rural connectivity, adding more than 100,000 miles of fiber nationwide. Local leaders are excited, calling it a win for families and small businesses who need reliable, fast internet to stay connected and competitive. And for residents, that means speeds up to 1 gigabit per second. New tonight, Interlochen Public Radio's Sound Garden project is being entered into a new partnership with Concert Artists Guild Artist Development Program. Concert Artists Guild is a leading nonprofit artist management organization based in New York. Nobody better to bring in to talk about this than Matthew Shlomer, Sound Garden's founder and artistic director. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Can we start by having you tell us a little bit about IPR's Sound Garden?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thanks for having me tonight. You know, the Sound Garden project started 6 years ago. So right in the middle of the pandemic, we all had a lot of time to think about things. And when Peter Payette, the executive director at IPR, came to me and asked if I had a project because he had some funding, I had a lot of things I was thinking about. One of the important ones was that classical music is still really powerful, in my opinion, and still has this incredible power to affect people and improve people's lives. But everybody's lives have changed since the concept of concerts and just even how we consume media has just changed so much. And so the Sound Garden project was built to explore those questions and to really give an on-ramp to people who might never have experimented or tried classical music. And in some ways, it's like a wine tasting for classical music.
Sure. And, speaking on that last part, I believe, it kind of brings music everywhere. A couple examples that were told us: a pontoon boat, a fire station. Why bring music everywhere?
Well, people are so busy now, and we really, our spare time is at a minimum. And so what we do is we look for times where people have little shreds of space, or they have they're in a place that they are having an aesthetic experience already. A hardware store picking out paint in the paint aisle is one, and we'll just begin a conversation and find ways to give them a chance to meet a musician up close and then experiment with the music and manipulate it and get to see the music's power.
Yeah, now this partnership with the Concert Artists Guild, what will that look like for IPR in this project?
Well, we've had 6 years of having just top level talent from around the country at our country's best music schools and conservatories. We've had those musicians with us, and we've really been fortunate. Partnering with Concert Artists Guild ensures that we have a stream of the best musicians in the country coming up to this area who really want to make a difference with their music, want to meet people, and want to just interact with people, not just sit on a stage and have you buy a ticket and watch them, but they want to meet you. And this ensures that we have like-minded people coming to Northern Michigan.
Yeah, and it sounds like, a pretty big partnership. Why does that make sense, to do right now?
Well, they're in their 75th year. So for us, the great thing is they've been a leader in that regard of trying to innovate, trying to foster this kind of innovation with the highest level musicians in the country. And so partnering with us, it allows us to just have an incredible synergy where the other impact that Traverse City has on the music world is the top artists are coming here and they're going to be gaining skills that they've learned here. They're going to take out to the rest of the world. And so we're making just a tremendous difference worldwide in this community while also enjoying great music.
And it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like a big goal, whether it's with this partnership or the project in general, that hands-on experience. Can you just talk a little bit about, how important that is, what that really offers?
Yeah, what we try to do is get to know the people we're working with first and seeing what they like. And then we just have a conversation. It would be awkward if I came up to a stranger in the grocery store and said, "Hey, will you watch me play music?" But instead we play games and we let them change the music and offer feedback, and then we'll play it differently. And so it lets people actually be a musician. The other thing is that oftentimes classical musicians are are people that many people have never met. And so letting people see that these are your neighbors, they're people that are interested in meeting other people and who aren't musicians, lets everybody just understand each other better. And it's been a really special project.
Yeah, absolutely. Matthew, before we let you go, is there anything else that you'd like people to know, whether it's about this partnership or with Soundgarden in general?
Well, all of this happens through the support of just the incredible community at Interlochen and Traverse City. The whole area has been so generous. Get out and about, and we'll probably find you where you are. We have special partners out in Glen Arbor this summer. We're going to be out in Arcadia for the first time this summer, and we'll have a concert at Inspiration Point, the highest point overlooking Lake Michigan. And so go to soundgardenproject.org, and you'll find information coming all about the summer. And we can't wait for warm climates and sunny skies and beaches, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, I love that. Likewise. Thank you so much for joining us, Matthew Schlomer, Soundgarden's founder and artistic director with IPR. Now, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and when it's all said and done, the National Retail Federation expects Americans will have spent $29 billion on the holiday this year. That's a record amount, according to the NRF's annual survey. Shoppers are budgeting nearly $200 for gifts. That includes gifts for romantic partners, family members, children's classmates and teachers, coworkers, and pets. Candy remains the most popular Valentine's gift, followed by flowers, cards, a night out, and jewelry. And that does bring us to our question of the day today. With the holiday tomorrow, our question is, what did you get your Valentine this year? And a lot of those options that were mentioned just a second ago between flowers, a night out, candy, those are options. So if you would like to vote, you can scan the QR code on your screen, or you can vote on our Facebook page and our website, UpNorthLive.com. We will take a look at that later on in the show and see what some of those results look like. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll check with Ethan to see what that Valentine's Day forecast looks like. We'll be right back.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
I'm Dee Gatton with the National News Desk in Washington, D.C., and this is your news update.
Seems just hard to imagine such a breach and such a breach in security, such a breach in protocol.
The FBI has released 37 pages of documents related to the 2024 assassination attempt on Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. The first records the agency has made public in this case. In an interview on Pod Force One, Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick says he's still not satisfied with the information that's been provided about the deceased shooter, Thomas Crooks. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump visited Fort Bragg in North Carolina today, one of the world's biggest military bases. They met with Special Forces members involved in the ousting of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro last month. Maduro is in New York awaiting trial on narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and corruption charges. Inflation was lower than expected in January. The consumer price index rising just 2.4% from a year before. Economists thought it would be 2.5%. The CPI was also down 0.3 percentage point from the month before. Investors are raising the odds for another rate cut by June, but the Fed is expected to hold the line. And that's your news update.
Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. It is a holiday weekend with Valentine's Day tomorrow. Tonight, just so far, it's looked pretty quiet. Ethan, is it supposed to stay quiet tonight?
Well, we do have some fairly quiet conditions across the area. And as we look over Gaylord, it is currently mostly clear and 37 degrees. A west wind at 8 miles per hour does make it feel like 31. So fairly pleasant out there considering it's mid-February. As we look at satellite and radar this evening, we do have some precip that was developing earlier today on the eastern part of the state, but that has continued to push off to the south and east. And we have mostly clear skies elsewhere. And as we continue through the rest of our night, we'll see mostly clear skies across parts of the area, but then some clouds do start to filter back in by about 8:30, 9 o'clock this evening, and that could also lead to some patchy fog into Saturday morning. That's because we had a lot of melting today, and we'll continue to see a lot of that melting that will lead to some evaporation and leading to more fog into not only Saturday morning, but possibly the next several mornings. So something to keep in mind. And then we'll see a little bit of afternoon sunshine for Saturday, but doesn't look like as much as we're seeing this evening. And then as we head into our Sunday, perhaps a little bit of mixed precipitation is possible. Perhaps a few snowflakes, perhaps a few raindrops, and even a little bit of freezing drizzle, all possible into Sunday morning. But temperatures will warm up nicely, and most of that will melt fairly quickly, and we'll see mostly cloudy skies for our Sunday. And as we look at that longer range forecast, we'll see a little bit of mixed precipitation or rain on Monday for President's Day, as we'll see temperatures warming well into the 30s and even some close to the 40s into our President's Day. Tuesday looks fairly quiet, and then our next big system moves in as we head into Wednesday. Right now, it looks like we're going to be on the colder side of this, leading to more snow, but if those temperatures warm up just a few degrees, could see some freezing rain or rain as we head into Wednesday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we close out the week. As we look at a few events for this weekend, one of them is the 50th annual North American Vasa Festival of Races that's held in Traverse City in Grand Traverse County. 40 degrees for Saturday, morning clouds, some afternoon sunshine, and then rather cloudy on Sunday, high temperature of 41. And the Yeti Fest also being held this weekend. We'll start off at 27 on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., climbing to 36 by 5 p.m. That's in Suttons Bay in Leelanau County. Up to the north tonight, teens for overnight lows, mostly cloudy and some patchy fog. We'll see increasing clouds and patchy fog for most places in the teens and 20s. A little warmer to the west, low 20s and right around 20 for most. And then to the south, mid to upper teens and low 20s, mostly cloudy and some patchy fog. Up to the north tomorrow, cloudy in the UP, low to mid 30s for highs. And then in our eastern zone, some upper 30s and low 40s, a little bit colder right near Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. Low to mid 40s, though, for those near Fife Lake, Kalkaska, and Traverse City. 46 in Baldwin, 44 in Reed City and Big Rapids, and 40 in Houghton Lake and Roscommon. Your extended forecast shows chance of rain or mixed showers on President's Day Monday, a little bit of sunshine Tuesday, and then a couple of rounds of snow possible, one by Wednesday, the other one by next Friday, as temperatures do look like they'll go back near or below average as we wrap up the month of February.
Thank you, Ethan. And some basketball going on tonight. On the other side, we'll catch up with Sports Director Harrison Beebe on what we'll see later on at our 11 o'clock show. Stay with us. Welcome back to Unscripted. Lots of basketball going on tonight and this weekend. To talk about it all, we're going to bring in our sports director, Harrison Beebe, who I believe joins us from a game right now.
Toscan, it's a great gym for the Northmen as we get a Big North Conference matchup that's worthy of Big North being the conference label, because this is Petoskey and Traverse City West, two of the best teams in this conference. They met up a few weeks ago. That was a win by West, and that was when neither of them had lost in conference. Since then, Petoskey has lost to TC Central, so they're a few games back. Might not have huge conference ramifications. However, being in their building, we know Petoskey is going to want to win this one, get that W back, and possibly build towards some momentum here come district tournament time, because, Cody, that is right around the corner. We start boys district play in 10 days, a week from Monday is when we start the postseason for high school boys basketball. So it may seem to some that we are still in middle of winter, but in reality for me, once we hit postseason time for winter sports, I know skiing is already done with regional competition, looking towards state finals. Wrestling has started district tournaments already. So these teams in the winter, they're already beginning their journeys towards potential state championships. So if you don't find a better sign of spring than that, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I love it. A very exciting time. And tonight at 11, we'll have lots of highlights from basketball. What are some other games that we're looking at?
I believe you yourself are nice enough to venture out and get a highlight for me.
Yes.
You will be checking out the Trojans of Traverse City Central taking on Sault Ste. Marie. I believe Ethan Foreman is also going to be heading out, catching the Glen Lake Lakers, putting on the Lake Show out there in Leelanau County. And on my way home, I'm going to stop and catch the Elk Rapids Charlevoix game. So we should have a quadruple header of games tonight. And also touch base on that Michigan State-Wisconsin matchup in the Big Ten. I don't know how the Big Ten got this deal to play big-time Friday night games, but they have another one. The Spartans played Michigan in this time slot a few weeks ago, and here they are again with a chance to shine and hopefully get a huge road win out there in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and they just got a big win against Illinois, so looking to keep that momentum going. Looking forward to seeing all of that coverage tonight on Up North Live News at 11. Thanks for joining us, Harrison. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back a little bit sooner, just on the other side of the break, we'll take a look at the live results for our question of the day. Again, that question is, what did you get your Valentine this year? We'll take a look at those results and some of your comments. We'll be right back.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Welcome back to Unscripted. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So today we asked, what did you get your Valentine this year as our question of the day? The number one was nothing with 41%. So love is kind of in the air, or you might not show your love with gifts, and that's totally okay. Flowers had 19%, a card had 21% of the vote, candy at 14%, and dinner at 5%. And looking at our comment section, Kimberly said, we don't celebrate Hallmark holiday. Heather said nothing. We don't exchange gifts. And Red Riding Hood, a celebrity in our Up North Live comment section on Facebook, Red said, I'm saving for an outdoor set. That's my Valentine from myself to myself coming end of May. Hey, I love that, Red. Good for you for getting yourself that Valentine's Day gift. Thank you for commenting if you did, and thank you for voting. And as always, thanks for joining us for Up North Live Unscripted. Have a great night and a lovely weekend.